I began my journey in Afghanistan with Whiskey Company 4-5 Commander.
Charlie 1, Charlie 1, 0 Alpha, jackpot, over.
Without a shot being fired, the British successfully arrested several Taliban suspects. Then I spent time with the US Marine Corps.
Are you trying to hurt my Marines? Get out of here.
The Americans may have a different style to the British, but they're all professionals risking their lives.
There's an explosion just there right now, yeah?
Now I'm going on the ground with the new Afghan National Army. It's cost billions of dollars to train them. The question is, will they be ready to take over the security of their country? So our troops can finally come home.
Just arrived in patrol base Jahan Zeb. It's home to around 40 members of ISAF, and they comprise a mixture of different cap badges ranging from 3 Mercian to the Commandos, and there are also members of the United States Marine Corps here. Their job is to advise and train a Kandak, which is basically a battalion of Afghan soldiers. This is the first time the Afghans have been given their own operational area, where they plan operations and go out on the ground on their own.
Afghan National Army soldiers from all over Helmand are arriving to join the 4th Kandak. Tomorrow, 450 men will head out on the first operation solely planned and executed by the Afghans. Operation Khales Shaki takes its name from the eastern fortress just outside our compound, which dates back to the time of Alexander the Great.
افتخاری وطن شماست، عزتی وطن شماست، امنیتی مردم به شما جوانان تعلق دارند.
Just 10 miles from Lashkargah, the provincial capital of Helmand, patrol base Jahan Zeb was set up as the first step to regain land from the Taliban. Operation Khales Shaki is now hoping to build on that success. The Afghan Army's plan is to build a road from Route 601 to the Nez Canal. Along this road, they will construct 2 fortified patrol bases, providing a line of defense to stop the Taliban firing rockets into Lashkargah.
So, Dave, over that way's west, yeah?
That's right, yeah. About 15 kilometres to the west, we've got Lashkargah. Just to the south here, you've got the road 601. That's the main road down to Lashkargah from the Afghan National Highway. As we move round from the west through to north, and that's the direction of the enemy. If you look straight ahead, you'll see 2 prominent trees that are forked.
Way on the...
Yeah, that's approximately 3 kilometres, and that is effectively the Nez Canal line.
Basically, this is a corridor you're talking about, the insurgency using to come in to try to get to Lashkargah behind me to the west.
They're handrailing these 2 features to head towards Lashkargah, and that's why 4 Kandak were put in this position to block that route.
Have you had any contacts yet?
There's been several contacts. Obviously, when we first moved in, it was almost a daily occurrence over to our west at one of the police checkpoints. When we moved in, we were contacted literally 300 metres beyond this point. However, over the Ramadan period, we've had occasions where firing points have been closer.
They've come back in.
Yeah.
The Kandak advisory team, made up of British and American troops, have been working closely with the Afghans for a number of months in preparation for this operation. Many of these men are raw recruits. For some, this will be the first time they come face to face with the enemy. I've spent time with the Afghan Army before. I found them to be fearless warriors.
What's it? That was a hit with the RPG. It just hit the compound right there. Well done, you.
If somewhat reckless at times.
Look at this. Got firing up there, mate. Firing. This boy, casual boy up here.
There's a lot riding on the success of Khales Shaki, as it's an experiment to see how well the Afghan Army plan and implement a military operation. Leading the mission and giving the final briefing to his men is General Sharin Shah, a charismatic leader liked by his troops.
جا را پیاده اشغال کردی، امنیت گرفتی، سرک مطمئن ساختی، راه را پیدا کردی، فقط زیر پوش نه چی رنجر را نبری. زیر پوش های که چی داره؟ همین چی میگن؟ ماشیندار داره.
The general's plan is to send his men out in two flanks. The eastern flank will go first, and only when they've reached the canal will the western flank set off. Once the area has been secured, the engineers will move forward and build the two patrol bases. But with just 12 hours to go before the start of the operation, a disagreement has arisen between the Afghan general and his British advisors. Major Dave Hillman thinks that both eastern and western flanks should move simultaneously.
Effectively, at the moment, what you have a plan is two companies moving on the eastern side of the proposed route.
Okay.
You've then got a time lag before a western flank is also put in place.
Is that a concern to you?
Yes, it is, because if he staggers sending out his flank protection...
So one comes out before the other and they don't move simultaneously?
Yeah. All it does is warn the people off in the Calais here on the west that there's an operation going on. And also, it gives them time to connect battery packs to IEDs and significantly increase the threat on the western flank.
That's why you prefer the simultaneous approach rather than the one side first, then the other side?
Definitely. We need to use speed and aggression when we move across the ground.
You want them to move as quickly as possible?
Yeah. Safely, quickly, smoothly.
Yeah. But what happens now, though, Dave, if you say, look, I want them both to move, the two flanks to move simultaneously with the engineers coming up the middle, and he goes, no.
We will support whatever decision he makes.
You have to do that, yeah?
Yeah, that's our job.
If he does that, and you think lives are going to be at risk, don't you step in and say, look, I'm sorry, I'm not prepared to back you on this?
We're mentors and advisors. Ultimately, it's an Afghan decision.
You can't make him change his mind?
I can't stop Afghan officers in Afghan battle space doing an Afghan plan.
It's a catch-22. On one hand, Dave has concerns about the well-being of the troops on the ground, but on the other, he knows that the Afghans have to be able to lead their own military operations. So Dave's team make one last attempt to persuade the Afghans to move both flanks simultaneously.
پنج بجه صبحی بره این مردم که پام سمیار وقتا خجالت میکنه اگر با کدام مقاومت شدید دشمن روبرو میشه این مردم که پاک صغار و بلاک میکنه باید به کمک از او بره
Tactically, for mutual support on both flanks, the east and the west should move at the same time.
It's the order.
Okay, that's fine.
As this is Afghanistan and its Afghan lives at risk, it's only fitting that they have the last word.
The ISAF forces that are here to advise will only step in and help the Afghan National Army with their air assets and their ground assets if the ANA are at risk of either being overrun or compromised.
The US Marines will be the eyes in the sky during the operation. They'll be using all their assets to get a full picture of what's happening on the ground.
We're doing a recce of the route right now just to see, one, to see the atmospherics on the route, what kind of people going through, are there tractors going across, are there motorcycles, how many people are there? So do we need to worry about it?
And also, you know, had the Taliban had information that this operation was about to take place tomorrow morning in the early hours, you know, if you were seeing people digging in IEDs,
definitely.
Yeah, you'd be prepared to get rid of them, right?
Of course, of course.
Yeah.
There's concern that the Taliban have got wind of the operation and have laid IEDs to counter tomorrow's offensive. But it's hard to keep something on this scale under wraps. The heavy machinery to build the road is just arriving at the base, and it's a little bit of a giveaway.
Do you think that the people down there know that you're about to actually carve a road all the way to the Nez Canal?
Yes.
You think they know?
Yes.
So if they know, the insurgents know?
Yes. I mean, there are only so many ways that you can camouflage what's going on.
Whether the Taliban know or not, in just 8 hours' time, Operation Khales Shaki will be underway.
I really hope that the 4th Kandak can carry out this operation. It's an experimental operation without any help from ISAF, because if they do that, it's a massive step in the right direction, not only for the Afghan National Army, but also for the people of Afghanistan. It's just coming up to 0400 in the morning here. The men of the Mercy and Recce team are getting ready to leave now. We'll be going with them. I don't think it's lost on any of us today that the date is the 11th of September 2011, 10 years after the attacks on the United States of America. How much that resonates with the people that the Afghan National Army soldiers will be meeting later on, I couldn't tell you. But one thing's for sure now, the remit of the British forces today and ISAF forces will not to be directly contact the Taliban or to fight with them. The remit of the British forces today will be to support the Afghan National Army who are trying to remove an insurgency from their country.
We're leaving patrol base Jahan Zeb to meet up with the men of the 4th Kandak. The plan is to start the operation under the cover of darkness. But when we arrive, the ANA soldiers are only just getting up.
We were scheduled to have left now, to be honest with you, 0500. But the commander's been saying that he doesn't want to leave until there's some daylights. They don't have night vision, so he's not putting his men out on the ground until they can see where they're going. Sort of makes sense, doesn't it? You know, again, this is an Afghan-led operation, so the guys just have to be patient and abide by his decisions.
It looks like there's been a breakdown in communication between the ANA and the British captain, Karol Koniarski.
We've been here now, 45 minutes waiting for the Kandak to get ready. That's usual procedure?
Because we've got a number of different units that have come together for this operation. There's quite a few interoperability issues that we're trying.
Confusion is the word, isn't it?
Confusion probably is the word, yeah.
It's not because they're scared they've not got up early.
No.
Once they go, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And we may well have trouble keeping up with them at some points, but they're starting to shake out now.
With the sun up, the A&A troops move out. I'll be travelling in one of the armoured jackals that will be offering support on the eastern flank. With me is Corporal Mike Gordon, a medic, who is manning the grenade machine gun. Sergeant Maxwell is commanding the vehicle. When I first came here 4.5 years ago, this would have been a British-led operation, and we would all have been on foot. I can't help thinking how exposed the A&A look as they pick their way towards the enemy lines. We're facing due north now. That's where the Nez Canal is. That's the final objective. The MSR, the main supply route, will be built to our west. They're hoping to be able to clear a route up to the canal today. Obviously, we're the first call sign on the ground. In front of us are the Kandak Recce team. The eastern flank is in a staggered formation. Up front are the armoured A&A Humvees, followed by the British Jackals. These vehicles will provide fire support if needed to Afghan soldiers on the ground. Bringing up the rear are the Americans. Captain Kim will be the eyes of the operation, calling in air assets should they be needed. If there was to be a large amount of insurgents that felt like taking on 450 men, they'd be coming from the east. The operation is being monitored from the control room at PB Jahan Zeb. Major Dave Hillman advised the A&A not to send their flanks out separately, so he is keeping a close watch. A lot of people on motorcycles now moving right between us.
We've got moving motorbikes north of us, moving west to east.
Bald Eagle 4-2, chosen 5-6.
One Pax on a motorbike, traveling east.
Roger, to confirm, this is a routine.
Securing the land up to the canal is a dangerous process. Every compound has to be checked. However, it's not long before the eastern flank reaches the halfway point. From now on, we will be in uncharted territory. This really, just in front of me, is the area where the Afghan Army stop having control of the ground. So basically, onwards from here, it is Taliban territory. You can see there's not any movement at all. And that is a big combat indicator, isn't it?
Big change in atmospherics.
Yeah, you can just hear it's dead. They know. They're not daft. They know what's coming.
No enemy seen as of yet.
Captain Kim's vehicle has picked up conversation on the radio between the Taliban, known as Icon Chatter.
Right. We've got Icon Chatter, they're spotted ISAF and A&A forces moving north.
So the Taliban insurgents know that you're coming?
Yeah.
Where we go? Contact right.
It's IDF, I think it's IDF coming in to our left, just over to our left. Just there, it's smoking there where the sheep are. Right. IDF land just over to our left.
Whoa! A mine call sign is engaged, as well as the A&A call sign. The enemy mine points on the left-hand edge of the compound and moving east and west. Over.
Oh, Jesus. Fucking didn't let us know that. There's a Dushka round just gone off right next to us, deafened us.
As we are now also under fire, the Mercy and Recce team make the decision to engage the enemy.
Have you got clear line of sight to shoot? Yeah, I'm going to dial it in. All right, give me 1 second.
But before they do so, they need to positively identify them holding a weapon, known in military slang as PID.
I think I got PID, sir. All right, as far as you can see, the tree line, that's where they are. I've seen 2 of them right now.
And at 12 o'clock?
Yep.
PID on one-time pack with long-barreled weapon. If you can, contact Wild Eagle 4-2.
Mike, what are you getting, mate?
Just identified some guys running into a compound. We tend to find what they do is they'll fire from one position and then they'll run without
another,
weapons and fire from another. So I've dialed in that compound. If they pop up again, you can PID them, we'll whack them.
As the A&A continue to push forward, we wait for the Taliban sniper to show himself again.
Fire to the right. On target from that compound. They're flashing.
Mike, you got still got eyes on? Yeah, that's good now. Happy days.
So, in support, Mike engaged with the grenade machine gun, and it actually stopped the people who were firing at us and at the Afghan National Army's troops in front of us.
And my concern is that with the A&A pushing so far north, we have not cleared all of the ground, and we are now seeing insurgents moving in and around our flank. Over.
Just 50 metres from where we are now is the Nez Canal. That's as far as we can go, the end of the area of operation. Now the job is to hold this and make it secure in order for the engineers to actually start clearing a route up to the canal. So it's just a matter of holding tight and seeing if we get contacted. Having reached their objective, the Afghans have gone firm in a number of compounds, and there's been no incoming from the Taliban. But Captain Koniarski has picked up some new ICOM chatter.
They're talking to each other and they're starting to move around.
گپ میزنم میگه نزدیکی ما میشه که ما رو محاصره کنه میگه کیا اینمی طالبا
نه ما گپ نسید به خاطر جنب او که توانمندی می داشت در وجود میجاز موضع میگیره محکم میکرد خدا.
On the ICOM we've got guys who have got eyes onto your guys on the bridge over there.
اونجا که یک پول است اونجا بچه شما زیاد جمع شده میگه در ایکام اونجا طالبا سریع چشم
and they're moving round from the west
اونجا حمله میکنه
to the north.
گزمه و گشتن
Later we'll talk about the
بازی
petrol.
کار بعدی است. تا بالا نان هم نخوردین، چای هم نخوردین، غذا توزیع نکردین برشان. گوشنام هستن.
Okay, but my concern is that the enemy know where we are now and they're going to start moving around.
به خاطر جنب باش.
Don't worry about it.
از اون چیزا باش.
If you're happy, then I'm happy.
Happy.
We'll see you in a bit. Happy. We're also happy until we get surrounded. We're also happy. The western flank still awaits orders to move out. But the eastern flank have reached their objectives so quickly that they have left themselves vulnerable to being surrounded by the Taliban. The fact that both flanks didn't move simultaneously has left us dangerously exposed. And just to confirm our fears, we've intercepted more ICOM chatter.
They've just picked up on the ICOM that they're going to be sending a tractor with apples, which could possibly be a code word for mortars.
So indirect fire, yeah?
Yeah.
As we just said, we heard ICOM chatter. So they were coming up this way. Commander of the Mercenary Wrecking Company told them that this would happen, and consequently, it's now happened. They were too busy having breakfast, they said, and they've left their position. So, not a great moment for the Afghans. There.
Advisor 40, this is Advisor 43 Alpha. Contact the western edge of a compound 6 X-ray 3 per par. The ANA are engaging.
Hello, boys. See that again now. The Afghans opened fire on the Taliban positions.
We've got whizzes going over, so we're taking incoming, boys. .50 cals fire in there.
Captain Kim is using his eye in the sky to try to make sense of what's happening on the ground, an asset the Afghans may not have in the future.
Hey, what are we looking at?
Yeah, that was fucking incoming.
Incoming UGL rounds. Oh, God damn it, I want to fire.
Friendly location approximately 500 meters to...
Whoa! Big incoming.
East, break. Taking fire at this time.
As the Taliban mortar fire gets more accurate, Captain Kim has no choice but to call in a weapon the Taliban have no answer to.
Currently, ANA is returning fire. We had PID'd enemy to the northeast, approximately 400 meters.
20 miles away in Camp Bastion, a British Apache attack helicopter is dispatched to our location.
Yeah, we got ugly 5-0 coming in about 4 minutes.
Feared by the Taliban, this state-of-the-art aircraft can instantly suppress an enemy. But only if it knows where to fire.
Hey, Severson! Yeah? To the south of that tree line, is there a cornfield that's not been harvested?
I don't really know what an unharvested cornfield looks like.
A cornfield! Is there a cornfield?
Yes.
6 Foxtrot 2425, that's it. 100 meters north of the canal.
Attack helicopter, yeah?
The Taliban call this the Fly, but amongst ISAF troops, it's known simply as AA.
Ugly 5-0, cleared hot. 10 seconds!
Stay inside!
Mounted on the underside of the Apache is a 30 cal machine gun, which delivers 10 armored piercing rounds every second.
The A8's firing up. He's hitting the compound, mate. There, there.
Huh?
Hey, what have they got? I'm looking, sir.
That's a splash, that's a splash.
Yeah.
Hey, mission successful.
As you can see, the attack helicopter's turned up. It laid down 30 cal rounds. The angle that he can see is far superior to ours, and also his optics are far superior to ours. And since those 30 cal rounds went in, the contact ceased. The Taliban fall silent. They have either given up the fight or have been killed by the Apache. the western flank moves off, there's serious concern that the Taliban has predicted its route, laying IEDs in their path. It's not long before their worst fears are realized.
There's an IED, isn't it?
The IED halts the advance. Meanwhile, the Taliban on the eastern flank are back.
The compound below that, come to the left-hand corner of it, there's one guy on the corner.
That's what I was just talking about?
Yeah, he's come back round again now.
Basically, we've come into a compound. It's the heat of the day. Generally, it's agreed that everything goes a little bit quiet this time because it's so hot. So I dutifully got my roll mat out and just fell asleep because we got up so early.
Matt, can we both smoke?
Been asleep for about less than 10 minutes, went straight over the top of our heads.
It seems one lone fighter who survived the Apache helicopter attack is seeking revenge.
He's a sharpshooter, he's on his own, isn't he?
He's laying down at the base of that compound.
The Taliban sniper has us in his sights. The Mercians fire flares to show exactly where the sniper is.
Another one.
But they fall short.
He's back, he's firing.
Here we go. He just zipped another one over us about 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Once again, we're under fire, which allows Mike the medic to return fire.
Right, you're pretty much on him there. You just need to come left the same again.
It's not lost on me that someone who is trained to save a life is now trying to take a life.
Where'd that go? That's pretty much bang on, in and around that area.
Yeah. Mike, you got him, yeah? You got the range?
Yeah, I think we got him. He's not come back.
So he's either dead or scared.
I've got movement on that.
Meanwhile, progress on the western flank has slowed. It's been confirmed that the IED was triggered by Afghan troops. An ambulance is dispatched.
What's your intention with the action in the ambulance?
It's not long before we hear that one Afghan soldier was injured in the blast.
Roger, out. Icon.
Amputation, that's a medevac.
7 Alpha, Roger. Yeah, I'm on the southwestern, southern walls of the unmarked compound blue.
We were part of the eastern move. On the west, there's been a contact IED, and a member of the Afghan National Army has apparently lost one of his limbs due to an IED strike. That's just over to the west of us.
Chosen 5 and 6, be advised that more than likely we're going to be setting up a medevac for that. Once again, this is an A&A casualty coming out of PB Jahan Seb.
The medical emergency response team, always on hand 24 hours a day, arrived to take the casualty to the hospital at Camp Bastion. With the western flank so far behind, it's decided that we should hold our position overnight.
And Avenger 3-5, good handshake for Chosen 5-6.
In order to discourage any enemy attack, Captain Kim calls in an F-18 as a show of force. Later that evening, we hear that the western flank has reached its objective and has set up camp on the canal. The route is now clear for the engineers to build the vital checkpoints that will defend the main town of Lashkar.
In terms of this being, the 11th of September, I can't help thinking, obviously, everybody has the image of the Twin Towers coming down and the suffering that people went through on that day and have gone through since. Being here, and this is, well, not this particular province, but this country was the place where those terrorists were harboured, where they were protected and where they were trained. And this day being September 11th has had very little impact really on the people here. I suppose the sad thing for me is that, even though we have seen a lot of progress while we've been here and the 4 years that I've been coming out here, unfortunately, we'll wake up tomorrow and people will still be fighting each other. On that happy note, I think I'm going to go and get some sleep because we'll be up very early tomorrow.
The night passes peacefully, leading us to believe that the Taliban have used the cover of darkness to escape from the hundreds of Afghan troops that are now in the area. But just after breakfast, a rocket-propelled grenade explodes above our compound.
RPG has just come in from over there, starbursted above us, just here. That is where we were going to investigate the compound, because that was the firing position yesterday. There's been some incoming from over there as well. But that RPG was well aimed, actually. It starburst at its limit, right over the compound, and caught us pretty much unawares, I have to say. So a well-aimed rocket-propelled grenade, and I'm surprised that no one is hurt.
These guys are obviously breathing a little sigh of relief. I think they're actually all very lucky not to be hurt. Okay. Good, because it starburst. We were just there, and it starbursted there. So I think most of the shrapnel must have gone over us rather than directly down, because if we'd gone directly down, there'd be a lot more people hurt right now. Anyway, the general's turned up to inspect everybody, make sure they're okay.
The original mission was to clear ground up to where we are now, the Nez Canal.
The police are pushing.
But with the Taliban up for a fight, the general doesn't want to miss the chance to pursue them.
Where do you want our support to come from?
This platoon coming this side.
Yeah.
After that, this platoon coming here. After that, this coming.
Okay. We also we have the helicopters on standby to support.
Yeah.
Thank you, General. I will go back and pass that to Colonel Giles.
General, do you have 2 seconds to talk to us? Just very quickly, sir. How do you think the operation has gone so far?
بله به عملیات کامیابه بگم در حدود 15 یا 18 کیلومتر سوار را پاک کردیم مال در طرف یخچال که دشمن از اینجا چی کنیم دور کنیم به که از سوار بیرون بکنیم.
In terms of an Afghan-led operation, an Afghan-led operation with Afghan engineers, you must deem it as a success so far, even though obviously the people over there don't like it very much. ISAF forces, Afghan National Army forces more importantly, have never pushed this far into this area and actually stayed. They may have come and gone, but they've never actually basically laid down CPs, checkpoints before. And I think that has upset the insurgents, clearly. Basically we've walked into their front garden and we've put a flag right in the middle of it and said, this is now Afghan National Army territory, and they don't like it.
As the hunt for the few remaining Taliban continues in the north, I'm keen to see the first patrol base being built.
So this is actually the canal we're going over. This is the end of where the MSR goes, the supply route. It stops at this canal.
Once finished, 30 Afghan soldiers and 20 police will be stationed at this patrol base to prevent the Taliban launching rocket attacks on the nearby town of Lashkar.
First objectives have been achieved. Unfortunately, one Afghan army soldier has lost his leg, but other than that, I think General Sharon Shah will look back on the last 48 hours as a complete success.
You did well, okay?
My main concern is this, though. They seem to rely too heavily on the assets that ISAF provide. However, eventually, the Afghan National Army is going to have to stand totally on its own 2 feet. It has to be questioned that once those assets are no longer available to them, how much stomach will they have to want to carry on fighting in an environment that is so hostile to them? There is a saying, one man with conviction is worth 100 without. And if those Afghan National Army soldiers don't believe in the government or the regime they're laying their lives down for, then they won't fight.